Let's talk about things that people think about foster care that aren't true. Foster parents must be experienced biological parents first. No, that's not true. Keely and I were foster parents for a full year before Lincoln was born, and the first child we enrolled in school was 10. And it's non-traditional to parent a school-age child before you've parented a baby or a toddler, but who cares? It's a dumb tradition anyway. School-age children are easier. In fact, in many cases, young adults, whether they're single or married, make great foster parents. They're young and spry, and young adults can be know-it-alls about a lot of things, but they're generally not know-it-alls about parenting. So sometimes they're more willing to learn and grow than experienced parents are. You can't be a foster parent if you live in an apartment or a condo. That's not true either. I live in a condo, and foster kids live there. You need a spare bedroom, but that's about it. And you might not even need that if you have other kids. Bunk beds. Done. You have to be willing and able to stay at home during the day. No. I can't afford to do that. I know several foster parents who are single and work, or who are married and both work a traditional 9 to 5 or swing shift even. Besides, the state pays for childcare in addition to the foster parent reimbursement rate. By the way, you shouldn't feel bad about sending a foster kid to daycare. A lot of times, that's the environment that they feel most comfortable in because it's what they're used to. Foster kids are bad kids. I have heard some people talk about foster kids the way that Alfred talks about the Joker. But that's not true. Behavior is communication. Children, all children, not just foster children, act the way they do for reasons. The trick is to figure out how to understand those reasons and learn how to speak to them in a way that they will understand. Now, that's not easy, but it is possible. It just requires training and experience, and sometimes a little trial and error. The next time you hear somebody try to warn you off of foster parenting because foster kids are dangerous, just, nicely. Foster parents are special people because they can love and let go. Foster parents do not have some the superhuman emotional resilience that makes it possible for them to experience things that would devastate anyone else. We get devastated all the time. And by the way, it's also not true that foster parents eventually lose their emotional sensitivity and grow cold. You can't parent without empathy. When I say goodbye, and I have to say goodbye a lot, it hurts. But you know what? I'm a big boy. I can deal with a little emotional pain for the benefit of a foster kid, and I bet you can too. It is true, though, that foster parents develop some emotional calluses that make goodbyes a little easier over time. But that's not a superpower that some people are born with. It's survival by adaptation. Experienced foster parents get tough in the right places and stay sensitive in all the others. The state will not permit you to adequately discipline a foster child. No, that's not true. Now, you might have to humble yourself and acknowledge that the methods that worked like a charm with your own kids or some other kids that you know might be ineffective or even counterproductive when you're dealing with a child who's experienced abuse or neglect. But there's more than one way to parent effectively. And experienced foster parents know that what worked with one kid might not work with the next one. And so they are constantly adding skills and methods to their repertoire. And I bet you're capable of learning some new parenting approaches too. My favorite. Foster parents are just in it for the money. There's not even close to enough money in foster parenting for that to be possible. Foster parent reimbursement rates are public record. That means that Dr. Google can help you find them for your state. In my state, Washington, it's better than it used to be because 2 years ago, the Foster Parent Association of Washington State sued the state of Washington in order to secure a rate increase for foster parents. But it still, even after that, costs more to kennel a dog than to place a child in a foster home. So, no, foster parents are not in it for the money. Foster care is bad for your biological children. So when I tweeted about this last week, here's what one foster parent said to me. Best thing we ever did was invite a teen into our home the same age as our oldest. Our foster kid was a good kid and had all the privileges that we had promised our forever kid, but couldn't give to him because our bio son wouldn't follow through on his end of the bargain. Of course, foster parents have to be sensitive to their own kids' stage of life and proclivities, and they have to be smart about which foster kids they invite into their home. But foster care is not a universal corrupter of the other kids in the house. It can sometimes provoke kids into thinking long and hard about the benefits that they enjoy and maybe take for granted. Last one, some folks seem to think that there is an us versus them relationship between biological parents and foster parents. And this one's tricky because it's kind of true sometimes, but it doesn't have to be, and it shouldn't be. Most foster parents that I know are eager to see biological parents succeed in getting healthy and creating a safe environment for their children to return home to. But the narrative of bio-parent versus foster parent is a little cleaner and easier to understand. It has stark lines and a clear villain and direct conflict. And so that story gets told more often, but the truth is more complicated. If you want to learn a little more about what it's actually like to be a foster parent, I would love to sit down with you and chat about that. Actually, there are several foster parents connected with Skookum who would love to tell you how it is. So email me, rd3@skookumkids.org, and I'll connect with you with somebody who can shoot straight with you about it. And you know, if you want to try it, if you want to get a taste for this foster parenting thing before you jump all in with both feet, come volunteer at Skookum. We'll give you plenty of training. You'll have backup if you need it. And then you can get some practice. You can learn what it's really like. And then you'll know for yourself.